Greetings friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and I just finished up this Padron 3-string cigar box guitar with a humbucker and a piezo under the saddle. 3-way switch through the potentiometer to the input jack, output jack, and I do have the golden hinge string catch there, an oak saddle. We were properly intonated, and I put the medium strings on here. This is the 44, the 34, the 26, and I'm tuned G, D, G. And the action right here at the 19th fret is about 2 millimeters-ish. So low action, no buzz. So we will plug this bad boy in and give it the old run through the paces. Couple of things. I noticed a little bit of fret spike here. When I'm running my fingers, I can feel some of the frets that after I painstakingly went through the process to get this thing perfect, sometimes you still feel a little bit sticking out. So not a big deal, not a big deal. You just get yourself a normal file. This is like a fine, it's a dirty old rusty one, but it still works. Just kind of a fine tooth file. And then I just kind of get this at an angle here. I don't know if you can see that, kind of a subtle angle. And just kind of run. You can hear the metal on metal if you listen, right? So if you can hear the wood, then you're not on it. So you need to like listen as you barely go across. And you can hear it, and plus you can feel it also. So two things: you hear it and you feel it in this hand here when you're on the metal of the fret, and you just slightly. I'm just barely taking it off, and I'm listening and feeling, and I can tell when that metal resistance goes away. That's how I know it's so smooth now. Of course, if I press down hard, I can definitely get to the metal, but I'm pushing down on the wood, so you don't want to do that, right? You just want to barely. Man, I can feel metal all the way up here. So, so sometimes the wood shrinks. Believe it or not, the wood shrinks, and especially when it gets dry, and then that means that the metal kind of pops out on either side. So, once the wood swells after you file it, then you won't have any problems any again. So anyhow, I am plugged into the Vox. These are the settings. I'll turn up the volume just a little bit. And my gosh, listen how responsive this thing is. So I'll put it on the piezo, and you can always tell how sensitive it is just by rubbing it on your gut, and that sound just like comes through. You can hear it really. Hear that? So that's how you know that the piezo is working good. All right. So anyhow, I like the middle. Ooh. I like the middle position, which is a combination between the piezo and the. This guitar is very harmonically responsive. And that is because I've placed the frets to be in alignment with the harmonics. So this is where I need you to pay attention and listen. Okay, this is the sound of the just tempered fretboard, and the sound I think is just amazing because the harmonics, the frets are lined up with the harmonics, which means that the chords that are being produced are harmonically correct. Let that sink in. Okay, this is important stuff. Okay, so just listen now. I've subtly moved the frets toward the harmonic. So it's not perfect. If it was just intonation, then it would be dead on. But this is a hybrid between equal tempered, which is the common 12-tone system that we're all used to. This is a combination between just intonation and equal tempered, and this is called just tempered. So listen to the sound of just tempered. That's the minor third. That's the 4. Here's the 5. And here's the root with the major third. Now this major third is a huge, remember I told you it's a skinny fret? Right? Well, I moved my third down just a hair so that it makes this, that third is like totally in the pocket. Now, rewind this part of the video if you didn't catch that, but you need to like hear this major third, the consonants, the blendingness of this major third. You need to hear that and identify it in your mind, and then duplicate it. That is the sound of just tempered. Again, it's a cross-pollination, a hybrid of equal temperament and just intonation. It's like striking a happy medium. All right. Oh my gosh, this guitar is crazy. I'm going to show you a thing I just stumbled on right now that I should have been doing all my life, and I've waited till I turned 56 before I figured this crazy lick out. So here, this is what you're going to do. You're just going to take your finger. You can do any finger. I use my middle finger. And I'm going to push it down just a little bit, and then I'm going to lift off. So I'm pushing down and kind of a little bit of an angle, then let go. You can move this finger around to kind of find the sweet spot. So just find a spot that's nice, and then just play your normal licks. Dude, isn't that crazy? And then also, okay, so far this has been no effects or no nothing. It's just the guitar. And again, I'm on this middle pickup, which is the combination. But I'm going to turn this thing up just to hear what it sounds like. Wow. last thing I've done is I put a little button on there for the little jute rope. I put 3 beads on here. Don't ask me why I did that, but I thought it looks cool. And then I just tie it off on this side up here with just a regular little loop there. So you can adjust that to be whatever height you want it to be. So this one here is number 318. People probably wonder, do you ever get sick and tired of building cigar box guitars? And to be honest with you, this never gets old, man. Each one of these instruments is like special and unique and one of a kind, and they all have their own sound, their own song. And shoot, seriously, man, it never gets old building these things. Especially, it's talking about building these things here. The rest of this video is the build of this guitar here, so hope you enjoy that. I sanded this down all the way to 400 grit. It's very, very, very smooth. And then I burned in position markers with the door nail inserted into the solder gun. And that's good for me because I'm blind. So the larger the marks, the better. So I have a real good contrast from this white wood. And this is maple too, by the way. I forgot to mention that this is maple neck and fretboard. And this is a 25-inch scale, just tempered. Again, you can always tell by this 4th fret, it's a little bit skinnier. And this 10th fret, or 9th fret, is a little bit skinnier. So, and again, I move those frets to be in alignment with the harmonic series, and that renders sweet sounding chords. Now I'm hitting it with this polyurethane high gloss. So it's going to be nice and shiny. So I'm going to let it dry overnight, and I'll get some more on it tomorrow. I want to take a little time and show you the inside and the neck before I do anything else. So I got these internal bracings and the blocks. The glue is still drying. And the F-holes, I've got them outlined in black just to make them pop. I think they look awesome. So that's the box. Here is the neck. So I have a scarf joint on the headstock, and the wings I made them flare thicker here and thinner here. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can see it better from the back. I mean, it's very subtle. You can't really hardly tell. It's been carved, and I'm in the process of sanding it smooth. And then I'm going to leave this natural color. I'll just put some dots on the top and on the front, and then I'm going to leave it natural and just lacquer it after it's nice and smooth. So these little guys here are just glued on, little wings, and that is so that the pickup, the humbucker pickup, can rest on there and get screwed in place. And I have it all fit. It all fits inside the box. With this, of course, I haven't cut out the hole in the box yet for the pickup, but what I like to do is to make sure that the strings are going to clear. And that's how deep this little notch is here. So this little bump here is the shelf. and the actual cigar box guitar top is going to hit right there on that shelf. And then I carve it down here all the way to the piezo, and right here where the saddle is going to go, that little mark here, that's right underneath where the saddle is going to go, that's where the piezo is. So the piezo and this little shelf are going to be the only parts of the neck that are touching the top of the cigar box, because I have it all carved away here. And last thing to point out here is that it does have a subtle back angle. You can see here is kind of a slight wedge going down this way. This here part here is a little bit thicker, and then this part here is a little bit thinner. If I got my measuring stick and measured it, it's 3.2 centimeters here, and over here it is 2.9 centimeters. So what, 3 millimeter fall from here to here? Sounds about right. We are at the end of the video, and I just want to remind you, if you enjoy these videos and you actually get something out of them, then by all means, if you want to contribute to the PayPal donation virtual tip jar, you can find that in the upper right-hand section of my YouTube channel under the About section. I'm going to leave you with a little. That's it. Good night.